Welcome to The Talk. I'm JJ and the always fashionable Isabel Oakshott and Penny Smith. With William, I really don't ring from quite serious surgery. If that was me, I would not want my sibling coming round to see me. After everything that has been said in the press, after the documentaries, now is not the time when I'm...
I just completely disagree.
Oh, okay.
No, I totally disagree. Now is the time because, you know, the whole thing about the fact that King Charles is, is battling now and then can turn on a sixpence, how suddenly, something can happen. Why not now? Now is the perfect time.
King Charles might have to abdicate. You don't know what's going on. The last thing he does, his Yoko Ono wife, there are bigger things to deal with.
Can we just step back a bit, Faye? Now, we thought at that point...
It's not within a matter of prepared to take that risk. Why
not? If I was him,
Harry,
I would... And
of the monarchy. But surely Harry could never have envisaged this.
I agree, Tone Prideson and the NHS, and that...
Cancer specific. For example, if you've got
children, it's about...
Well, sticking with the king, sticking with his daily exercise routine, so...
I mean, all I was going to do is, so he is essentially saying that you stretch down and touch your toes.
OK.
And you do that twice, and then you lie on your back, and so you sit up to see your feet, and then you turn over, and then you as well. But there are things that is the provenance of his. Then you are obviously going to stand a much better. Yeah, and we go back to my point. Bragging about how important he is, how much the BBC. I looked up the guy's speciality. The thing is, individual politicians or
a badger for medical advice. This man knows nothing. That's my issue.
Right, people have a right to an opinion on things. They do, absolutely. And I'm not sure that
attacking individuals and particularly...
Yeah, but he's in sport. So
yes.
Institution at large. Attention, and he loves damage is not entitled. No one is saying that he should be shut down or anything. No.
Entertaining people. This is a very slippery...
He has always had it in the neck. When the Tories are in government, then all the other people say, bias, they say bias, bias, bias. When Labour was in power, they shouted bias, 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 and
I remember them shouting bias.
Oh, they certainly did.
You wouldn't mean Tory bias.
Not just bias. Well, maybe it's a microaggression.
All the time. Alice always having a go at the BBC and saying that there was bias going on at the BBC.
Would it make you two happier? The BBC is a small fraction of what his earning potential is.
He needs to abide by it.
And also, the Alch is not going for him, but he knows exactly...
Public protest. You're there to make your views...
Can I just say then that last year I was walking somewhere and I ended up on the fringes of a protest against what was happening in Iran with how they were cracking down on women, revealing their hair and everything else. And there were lots of people who I suspect of being from Iran, as in the Iran secret police or whatever else, who were noting down people who were there, who were taking photographs and noting things down. And there were some people who were wearing masks or wearing scarves or trying to hide their faces. And I did actually think that perhaps if you had family back in Iran and they were protesting about what was going on, perhaps there was a reason for it.
So that is an interesting counter-argument. It's a very special...
Just pointing out
your point is really valid. If we abide by British values, then...
Because when London is the most settled, if the police, we obviously all condemn, but...
They'll completely disagree with some other things. So, yes.
Interesting that this is nothing new, though, because I was just looking, one randomly kind of finds these things, and there was a Liberal Conservative in 1852 who said the first duty of society is the preservation of society, and actually said Parliament's liberty, leading articles and essays are all good, but they're secondary, which I thought was actually quite interesting, because essentially saying, we need society more than anything more than anything else, and that was 1852. So.
More history.
But I do think we've reached a tipping point. The question
is a legal case. Prosecutors said that she was negligent in allowing her son to have a gun. It was bought for him by his father. The help, she went into the school to discuss some rather disturbing drawings that teaching. To parenting, it is to keep them safe and also therefore as well other people safe as well. And if you have a child 15 years old having a gun, it just beggars belief. I think about me when I was 15,
Will it have bankrupted the family? And very, serious that was factored into the ruling.
I mean, we haven't sat through all the testimony, but if the evidence was that this mother had now 60 years for this, appalling criminality, they will be held accountable if their children are running wild.
And that's a brilliant point. Gun, it was locked in a safe.
And she cut short the meeting that the school had called for her to go in and discuss.
In terms of this one being negligent age for guns, As long as, yeah, so,
isn't it?
yeah,
The
exactly.
right to
£70 a year.
£70 an appointment.
Bargain.
Interestingly, I was told, funnily enough, I went to my NHS dentist. I have an NHS dentist.
do I.
I know how lucky
So
am
do I, but you always seem to have to pay extra.
No,
Yes.
but all I was going to
Yeah.
say is, but I was having I was talking to him about a clump of people. So if you, I don't know, do a filling for 1 or a filling for 10, you get the same amount of money.
Yeah.
So he did, in well, or everything else. He said, I would lose the business. I would do
You can get crannies and stuff like that. The same thing.
I think it's a bit sort of, it's a wrong solution. I mean, I think we should be educating people first rather than just medicating them effectively. Why that got to be quite a good thing. I did notice when my mum was in hospital, ever brushed her teeth or helped her brush her teeth. It was as if it was just not, you know, we've given up teeth. You know?
Yeah, I mean, not every care.
It's not called
budgeting.
loud budgeting.
I think that's a horrible attitude to have.
It is a what might go there. First of all, budgeting.
Most
Like you
grown-ups
idiot.
do it all day, every day.
But I do think that you sometimes it is really, if you really are on a budget and you're kind of barely scraping through, and somebody says, "Come out, we're all going out to dinner. There's 10 of us," and you're having the smallest amount of food, and
I
you're
know,
not
that is
drinking
hard.
anything,
Yes.
and then they divvy the bill
That is
up.
awful.
And I can't really afford that.
But then equally,
I know.
then it, yes,
But
then it doesn't look great.
But then we come out, I don't like people, it comes across as stingy. But the problem is, if you're on a budget, I mean, what is wrong with saying, I'd love to come out, but I'm on a budget. Can I just put in £10? I promise I'll just...
I have 5 bags of big... Let's come play board, get
Don't
something
turn
different.
it on them and say you're not worth it.
Yeah, exactly. There's always ways around it. I
With that many billions of views, I mean...
Yeah, what?
That's pathetic.
But it's on TikTok. You can't really count that as an easy.
Right.
Who's first?
I am.
I mean, I know, but that
No, that's true.
does it?
It almost looked like a brooch. Just saying.
Oh, no.
Oh, I love it.
Exactly.
There you
You drop.
So a French guy has spent 8 years.
No, but they weren't. The thing is that he got a company to make these extra, essentially
They've been
sticks.
changed beyond recognition from
They
their
were no
original-
longer even
They
matchsticks.
basically weren't matchsticks.
No,
You
they
said
were
they
sticks.
didn't
They
even
didn't have the phosphorus on the top, so they were just...
on fire.
Well, so essentially, it doesn't sound like the kind of film I'm going to...
No?
I'm sorry.
Isabel, you've been very
I
quiet.
kind of just think it is a bit inappropriate in front of other people's kids.
Kids,
I think it's
exactly.
fine in like your own family, but in front of
Yeah.
other people's kids, it's a
Children,
bit
I'm
weird.
Some. Yeah.
You.
They're grateful, aren't
They're
they?
so
You know,
happy.
Oh, is that what it is?
I am conscious, Dora, it's so much easier to make a massive fuss with
Yes.
a dog because it's so reciprocal. You know?
I mean,
And
its
you know
tail
it's
goes round and round
guaranteed,
and round.
right.
It's very excited. It jumps up and down. I can't help it. I see they know. They see me coming on Instagram, and they just pump the little things out that go, "Oh, look at your dog. Wouldn't it look nice in this?" And I go,
How
"Oh,
often do you
know
give
what?
treats to Will?
Well, he has to have treats, of course.
What, daily?
How often?
All the treats.
Overweight.
Are you
No,
also-
he's not. He's very slim.
Are you one of those people that...
No,
debate-
we try.
none of
one
that.
What do you mean we try?
The one.
Oh, absolutely not. And until they literally until they make a
Disgusting.
dog.
That my
Please.
immune very strong.
Disgusting. Well, Penny Smith is my hook shot and...